y'all, this is Jackie from Jackie Yoga Therapy. Today we're going to run through a few different balance exercises that you can practice just as is, or it can also act as a little assessment of your balance to kind of get what level you're at or how comfortable you feel with some of these activities, as I do incorporate them in various videos that I'll be sharing with you in the future. So again, if you find some things that you might have a little bit of difficulty with, by all means practice them on their own, and as you try different videos you might see them pop up, and I might add arm movements, head movements, body movements with it, so you'll be ready for that. So what we'll need for today: be near something, whether it's the countertop, a chair, the wall, just in case you do lose your balance, so we have something to help catch us. And then, or you can even be with your back close to the wall, so you will have that as your safety there. And then at least a block, a book, something that you can put your foot up on, and something like a blanket, fold up a towel, a pillow, have that nearby. So if you need to pause the video for a second and grab those few things, go for it, and then just press play whenever you're ready. So first we're going to start with our feet apart in our mountain pose. So here we're just going to ground through the bottoms of our feet, gently kind of lift the arches of the feet, soft bend in the knees, traveling up to the hips. If you feel like your weight is mostly in the heels of the feet, try to shift the hips forward so there's more equal weight through the front and back of the foot. Traveling up through the belly to the ribs. If we find that our ribs are jutting out and we have a big curve in the low back, try to tuck the ribs in a little bit so we have a little less curve in the back, though we still want a little bit there. And then shoulders relax down and back, and then that slight chin tuck in the neck, reaching the top of the head towards the sky. So this is the mountain pose. Palms can face forward or palms can face towards your legs. It just depends what's more comfortable. You can always come back to here when you need to regroup. But first I want to just warm up a little bit with the balance, and we're going to take a little bit of weight shifts from side to side. You can always be holding on just until you get comfortable with what you're feeling. So we're just shifting over to the right, over to the left, kind of assessing our boundaries. And always be safe. Especially if you're on your own, be a little more cautious than not. And then we're going to come back to middle, and now take it a little forward and a little back. So this one can be a little trickier, especially on the way back. So again, be near something. Your yogi's choice on how much you want to challenge yourself. Good. A couple more here. And then we're coming back to the middle, and we're going for little circles all the way around. So the back of the feet over to the side, to the front, over to the other side. So we're trying to move the body as a unit and trying not to just swing the hips around. And let's reverse it. And we're paying attention to the bottoms of our feet as much as we can, really feeling what's going on underneath our feet at this moment. Okay, we're going to settle back into mountain. Again, find the posture, hold on to the chair to start. And here's where I'm going to ask you, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes here. See if you can close your eyes for a couple breaths. Again, noticing what changes here. Does anything have to kick in a little bit harder? See if you can lift your hand off the chair or the counter and hold your breath. Good. Go ahead and open up. Regroup, see how you feel with that. It's kind of step one. Feet apart, eyes open, try some weight shifts, and then try eyes closed. So if you felt good with that, we're going to bring the feet all the way together. And again, this is going to make it a little more challenging. We're narrowing our base of support. So holding onto the chair to start. Find your focal point straight ahead. Find your posture, grounding through the feet. And then see if you can take that hand away. Focus, eyes open. Are we swaying a little bit here? Are we able to control that sway? If we are. Maybe you just stay here, but if you feel comfortable, I'm going to ask you again to close the eyes. Hands near the counter if we need it. Try to hold a couple of breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Being aware of what changes in our body. If we're swaying any direction in particular. Feeling the little feet muscles working hard. Last breath. And open up, regroup. Take a pause, see how you feel. Anytime we limit the vision, it's going to make other areas have to work a little bit harder. So you're going to notice more of a challenge with that. And now, next step up, we're going to take our foot about halfway ahead of our other foot. So just pick a side and step it about halfway up. The toes of your one foot around the arch of your other. This again is kind of the medium range. If this is too hard to hold, slide that foot back. If it's too easy, slide that foot all the way up or all the way in front. Okay, again, we're really narrowing that base of support, so it's going to be a little more difficult. I'm going to kind of choose a medium option to show you guys. Eyes open, breathing here, finding your focal point. Two more breaths. And one more. And just like we did prior, hands near the counter or the chair, I invite you to close your eyes, or if that's too much right now, keep your eyes open. We're going to do 3 more breaths. Eyes open or closed, yogi's choice. Again, observing what changes in the body and the feet and the legs. Is the core kicking a little bit more? You have more weight in one leg than the other. Last breath, and then gently open up, ground yourself, find your focal point, and then try the other side. So one leg comes back, the other leg comes forward. Important to note that one side's going to feel a little different than the other. If you have weakness on one side, usually the leg that's in the back is that side's going to be a little more challenging. So just be aware, find your focal point, eyes open. Breathing. Trying to relax too, because a lot of times when we get off balance, we get really stiff. And again, here we go. I invite you to close your eyes or keep them open for 3 more breaths. And you'll learn kind of your boundaries as you go along, how much might not be easy, but you hopefully will become more aware of how much to push and when to hold back. It's all about the process with yoga, that mindful movement, and then open up, find your grounding point, and then bring those feet apart. Good job. Take a second, kind of march it out or bend the knees, roll the ankles if they're starting to get a little stiff on you. So far so good. So we did everything on solid surface, something firm underneath your feet. Next, we're going to take it to a little squishier surface. So if on the floor was already challenging, then just kind of stop the video here and practice those things first. You want to get good at the first few that we did before you add in any other challenges, okay? So we're going to grab our blanket, and we're just going to do the first, just 1 or 2 on here, just to kind of give you an idea of where you're at. So we're going to step up onto our blanket. First, just kind of bring your feet apart and assess. See how you feel. Do you feel a little more off balance, or things having to work a little bit harder? We rely on 3 things for our balance. One is our vision, which we were testing earlier. The other is the bottom of our feet and the sensation and the awareness in our feet. And then when we take the firm surface away and add something squishy, that kind of interrupts some of those pathways sometimes and makes it harder. And then the other one is our inner ear, our balance system in our inner ear. So if we have any issues with any 3 of those, that can make balance a little more hard or harder. But the good thing is we can help train some of those that are not working as well and try to get other areas to kick in and help out too. Okay, so here we are, eyes open, and I invite you, feet apart, eyes closed. Again, breathing, inhaling, and exhaling. One more. Good. Open up. If you're feeling good about that, I want you to bring your feet all the way together. Eyes open. Breathe. Soft bend in the knees. Equal weight in both legs. And when you're ready, if you're ready, either eyes open for 3 more breaths or eyes closed for 3. We're observing, we're building our awareness. Does our breath change? Does our body change? Are we getting more tense? Very good. Open up, ground through your focal point, hand on the chair, see where you're at. Okay? So those are the 2 basic ones we're just going to start with today. But like we did on the floor, you could also try the 1 foot ahead of the other on the squishy surface, but that can be a little more challenging, especially with eyes closed, but that will kind of be a higher level activity that you could practice. But these first ones are great to start with. Feet apart, feet closed, eyes open, eyes closed. All right, and there's different ways where we can challenge that you'll see as you go along with the different videos I put up. So there's the blanket, and let's grab either our book, our block, something that you can a shoebox, something, or a cup even, sturdy cup. And so we're gonna put that block in front of us. I'm just gonna slide it up to the side so you can see my other foot. So this one, our last one we're gonna do is gonna mimic a little bit of standing on one leg, but it takes out the whole effort of just balancing on one leg. We're gonna put our right foot up onto the block or whatever you would have at home. So here you have couple options. You can have half your foot on the block, you can have a lot of your foot on the block, or just like the toes or the ball of the foot up on the block. So again, yogi's choice, find which one works best for you. And also you have variations of how your feet could be. So remember what we did before, wider stance, easier. Narrow stance, harder. So you can play around with how much space you have between your feet with this, okay? But you wanna zip up on that left leg, round through that left foot. If that hip is weak, it might wanna pop out a little bit. See if you can tuck it in, grow that posture, hands down or on the chair. You're going to always bring your hands into prayer if that helps you as well. And just find something to focus on. Give me a couple breaths, eyes open. Hold it here or take a break. But if not, try eyes closed. Now this one is fairly challenging, so see how it goes. Remember, no judgment on how you do. We're just learning, we're observing, and open those eyes. Now you notice how much work that left leg is doing, right? So lift that right leg just as mindfully as we put it up. Nice and slow on the way down. Shake it out. You can definitely feel it on that standing leg. So just slide the block over or step over. Same thing other side. We're going to shift our weight over to the right, kind of strong through that right leg, and then mindfully lifting left foot up on the block. Find the position you want. Find the stance of the feet that you feel comfortable with. And then lastly, you can find what you want to do with your hands, down low, holding on, or in prayer. Eyes open, focusing, breathing. Maybe the core is activated a little bit. Hold in gently. And either stay here or try a few breaths, eyes closed. Or if you've had enough, just take a break. Last breath. And gently open up. Mindfully, if your hands were up, bringing them down, floating them to your side, lifting that left leg and gently trying to place it back on the floor. Good. And shake it out. Maybe do some weight shifts or some marching or a little bit of knee bends. See how those legs are feeling. Might notice you worked a little bit more than you thought you would. So, because we work those little muscles in the feet all the way up to the hips and the core with some of these balance activities. So those were a few of the basic exercises and little assessments really to see where you're at with your balance. If you noticed there were some areas that were difficult, then I would try some of those very same activities. Maybe you hold it for 3 breaths, for 5 breaths, whatever you can start at. As always, like I mentioned in the beginning, be safe, be near something, you make the call, be a little more cautious in the beginning than not. And definitely, be aware of your surroundings and what you're using for some of your props too. And as we build on with different classes, as I add different things in, you'll have a great foundation to start. All right? So if you have any questions or comments, just please leave you can message or comment below. And then if you have any other questions, you can go to my website, JackieYogaTherapy.com, send me a message. I'll try to get back to you. Good job, guys. Thanks for making it today. Let's take one last breath, inhaling and exhale. Namaste.